had left Paraguay and arrived in BA to live with my grandma. My parents said she was going to help me with my studies. Life in Paraguay was hard considering my mother and father had to take care of my 2 sisters and 3 brothers. Having a boyfriend wasn't in the picture at that time. My grandma Ramona Villalba had told me she was going to make an effort so I could attend a nice school. The first day I attended St. Martin's High School, I was totally scared. I knew no one. Teacher Solhope noticed immediately I was a shy person. She was in her mid-20s, a super nice human being with a warm soul. Sol told me that she would always be there if I needed anything. I can still remember her sweet voice when she said,
Leonela, go and sit next to Valeria.
Valeria Ruiz Huidobro is my best friend. I had met Juan de la Cruz Rodriguez Fernandez at school too. He was 19. He was in 6th year, but Juan had reattended 5th year. The first time I saw him, I thought he was kinda hot. He wasn't Chris Hemsworth, of course, but he looked handsome. He played rugby in SIC in San Isidro. He was standing next to his car and was singing his favorite song, Ciudad Mágica from Tambiónica. He loved it. When he noticed me, he came directly to me and said,
"You are very beautiful. I don't usually date young girls, but I'm gonna make an exception with you."
While he was saying this, Juan arranged my hair behind my ear, and I could smell the strong perfume he was wearing. From that day on, and for a month, he will ask me to date him whenever we met by chance. It was all new to me. The big city with its crazy life, the school, my new friend Valeria, and the nightlife. It was all very exciting and also scary. I had never imagined life in BA will be like this. My heart beat fast every time I went out with Valeria. On one occasion, we were chatting about where to go. We had 3 options, Niceto, Vern, or Velushi. As I wanted to go dancing, Velushi was our choice. The atmosphere was incredible. First, we went to the bar. However, I felt rather nervous. I was fearing that the barman would ask for our IDs. It never happened. For one thing, we looked older than we were. For another, the place was too crowded and the barmen were too busy for that. Valeria was even flirting with the guys. Valeria ordered a mojito and the bartender suggested a dirty martini for me. But Ball said it was 100% vodka, so I had a daiquiri. When we finished our shots, we went to the dance floor. We shook our bodies all night long. I have never had so much fun. Many guys wanted to dance with us. Paul was keeping an eye on them so that they wouldn't take advantage of me. Before we left, we went to the toilet. Suddenly, Valeria grabbed me by the arm. She said,
Watch out! You were about to step onto that syringe on the floor.
"Whoa!" I replied. I haven't seen it.
You could have got AIDS or something.
Does that still exist? I asked her.
Yes, you have to be careful, darling.
Then I was a little paranoid and I checked everywhere to see if it was safe. Next, we put a new layer of lipstick, arranged our clothes to look like goddesses again, and left the place in a taxi. My grandma WhatsApped me to see if I was fine. After he asked me like a million times, I accepted to be Juan's girlfriend. To be honest, it was really nice to feel that someone loved you, cared for you. It felt great to feel secure in his arms. When we started dating, he used to bring me a present every day we saw each other. In the winter break, I asked Juan de la Cruz to take me to the cottage his parents had in Bariloche. I had never seen snow before and wanted to do so. Juan told me that his parents will not use the place that weekend, so we could go and spend some time alone. This is how we started our journey. When we arrived, I was totally surprised by the beauty of the place. I so much desired to visit those wonderful landscapes. But Juan told me that it was better if we spent the day alone, locked up in the house. I was in the mood to go out, but it seemed sweet to me that he wanted me only for him and that he wanted my time to be exclusively his. Before the resuming of classes, I wanted to go out again, so I called Juan. However, he told me that he had an appointment with the doctor. I asked him if everything was okay, and he answered that it was just an usual checkup, nothing to worry about. I had to postpone the outing for some other time. School days can be very stressful. It's not the way grown-ups think that teenagers don't do anything or are lazy. That is crazy considering those adolescents used to spend the whole morning and the whole afternoon at school like us. And that's not all. We had to do homework thanks to our strict teachers. One day in a music class, we were talking about folklore. The teacher had asked us to tell him about traditional dances and songs we knew. The majority of my classmates just mentioned tango and milonga. Only some of them mentioned samba and chacarera. When I said polka, one of them replied that polka was a dance Swartz company. Almost everybody began laughing. When I described the bottle dance and Villarica and Che Ciudad, they started laughing at me. I couldn't help crying. Then the teacher left and came back with the headmistress. They made my classmates stay during the break time to meditate upon what they had done. Valeria held my way out to get some fresh air. Sadly, that was not the end of the situation. I got so devastated when I arrived home and saw my Facebook profile was filled with my classmates' awful memes and comments about me. However, that was nothing compared to what was going to happen next. The worst time of my life was just about to start. It was late November, Friday I think, and the year was coming to an end. Juan de la Cruz had been suggesting that we should celebrate the end of the year in a romantic way. I went to visit him at home. His parents were in a spa in Punta del Este and his sister was spending the night at a friend's place. Juan asked me for a love proof, but I didn't have any experience at all.
La noche se presta pa una aventura, tú y yo debajo de la luna.
At first, he took me by the hand and started singing something. We began dancing in the middle of his bedroom. We were making out when he took my blouse off. I asked him, "What are you doing? We're not using any protection."
It's okay, baby. Wearing a condom, it's uncomfortable.
He answered. Wait, I'm gonna WhatsApp my grandma to tell her I'll spend the night at Valeria's. But then, romanticism vanished. He was rude. He just concentrated on his feelings. I said, "Stop it! I was thinking of another thing. You're hurting me." He wouldn't stop. The next day, before I left, Juan de la Cruz gave me another present. But this time, he said,
Open it only when you're at home.
I was obedient, and I waited till I got home. I wasn't feeling okay. It was a mixture of sensations, but I didn't want my grandma to get worried. We had breakfast together, and then I went to my room. Actually, I wasn't anxious to unwrap the present, so I opened it after a couple of days. There was a little box and a note. The box contained a keyring with a skull. At first, I didn't have the foggiest idea of what it meant. I read the note. It read, "Welcome to the world of AIDS." I couldn't believe what my eyes were reading. My blood pressure dropped. I started to see all black. I almost fainted. My heart was beating quickly. I felt desperate. What was I going to do? Who could I tell what had happened? I felt desperate and desolate because I didn't know who to ask for help. My world was falling apart. I remember I went to Valeria's house running. She was the only person I could trust. When I got to her house, I couldn't stop crying. I told her in sobs what had occurred. She was stunned. She told me we should go to the doctors immediately, but I didn't want to. I was afraid of what might happen, what others might think. Valeria insisted. She reminded me that disease was not the only consequence of having sex with a condom. There was also another possibility. I wasn't able to sleep that night. The next day, we went to the clinic. A gynecologist assisted me and gave me all the corresponding medication. Valeria was always at my side, taking my hand. School wasn't an option that week. Besides, I didn't want to see Juan. I was afraid of him. Teacher Sol phoned me home to talk to my grandmother and to know why I was missing classes. My grandmother did not know what to tell her since I hadn't told her anything, only that I felt bad and didn't want to attend school. Sol insisted on talking to me and I finally answered the phone. I was so nervous and with fear, but I told her what had happened. She said she would come to my house the next day so that we could have a better and longer conversation. Sol helped me with my treatment, gave me courage to tell the authorities, and supported me in those last weeks of classes so that I could continue studying and focusing on myself. Both Sol and Valeria were my great supporters to go on with my life. So much so that after this experience, I decided that when I finish secondary school, I will also want to be able to guide people who have lived situations similar to mine. It's not easy, but I won't give up. When life gives you lemons,